Chief Plentycoo was chief of the Crow Indians here, and he did vision quest in the Crazies. A lot of people have theories about it being a crazy woman with, you know, the Robert Redford movie of Jeremiah Johnson.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
But that's not true. The Indians named the mountains, I gotta read the word right, Awahawa Peak, meaning Mad Mountain.
All right, looks like our hostess, our tour guide, is here, and Jeannie, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
And would you like to explain what your position is here?
Well, I'm the director manager
Okay.
and curator.
All right.
Not director, I don't like that word, manager and curator of the sessions, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
I'm excited to have you direct us around and show us what is here.
Yeah, well, our main attraction, our pride and joy, is this diorama of Big Timber in 1907.
Wow, it's huge.
Yeah, but it's just the main central part of town. The city is a lot bigger than this.
All right.
And it was built by Orvin Fieri and Bev Josephson. They were two big contributors to the museum and on the board in several different spots. And it took 6 years to build this from conception till the end, because they had to do a lot of research
Yes.
and on the buildings and find pictures and history about all the different buildings in town. So, but people get a big kick out of this, and we have scavenger hunts for kids to find things in this diorama.
Oh, wow.
Because there's so much detail.
Well, a lot of people really like to have children's activities available to them.
Well, and it keeps
Make things-
the kids busy so the parents can look around.
Oh, yes, true, true.
So.
Now, these buildings don't look, well, they're kind of old. So what time period was
1907,
this? I see.
and one block of town in the middle burned in 1908, and that's where they had so much detail because the fire maps, the Sanborn fire maps, were used to get dimensions and colors and material used on the buildings. So.
Okay, well, I just kind of zoomed in on one of the buildings on Main Street, and it looks like it has a bell or something on
That's
top.
the fire hall, and it burned down.
Oh, my.
Yeah, that block burned down.
Do we know what caused the fire?
Sparks from the railroad tracks from the train engines
Oh, my.
Blew
That
it.
was a very common thing.
blew into town. There were several fires in Big Timber from that in the
Oh, I see.
early days.
I
We have
see.
a tremendous fire department now.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
Yeah. And that was his miniature display that he made and sold miniatures all across the country.
Oh, wow.
And this was his display cabinet, and the family donated it. It's based on Terra.
That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The detail.
Oh, and it's not kits, it's all hand built.
Oh, my.
He didn't care for the quality of kits.
I understand.
Yeah, yeah. And our big things are the Pioneer Memorial Gallery. Most people are looking for family
I see.
and history. And then we have a fabulous rodeo display and archaeological display. Those are our biggest draws.
Okay. Can we take a quick peek in
Yeah,
the rooms
yeah.
and give the viewers some idea of the immensity of the various artifacts
Yes.
that are in these rooms?
Well, Larry Laren has helped us immensely with our archaeological stuff because two different families donated things, and he helped identify them and put years to them and stuff. And then he did these big panels here on the wall,
I see.
and he has donated his whole collection,
I see.
his life's work, to the museum here. And he still helps us do things.
Now, my mother and her family, well, her grandparents homesteaded just east of Gray Cliff. And I understand there were quite a few Native Americans who were in the area at the time.
This was Crow Reservation.
Crow Reservation.
This area was Crow
I see.
Reservation.
Okay.
And so, you know, there's a lot. Some of this stuff was found right in town.
Oh, wow.
We've got Larry's, we've got a Steele family collection, Ed Lomeland's collection. There's another one, I can't think of the guy's name, because it hasn't even been accessioned yet because it's so extensive.
I see.
So,
Okay.
and the Kramer family rodeo pictures and stuff is all on display. We don't own it, but it's permanent collection basically, and it's big. Our history in Big Timber with the Kramer Rodeo is really, really extensive because they're still doing it. One of the granddaughters is still running the rodeo.
Oh, okay. And what time of year does that occur?
The June rodeo.
It's in June.
Yeah,
Okay.
the one big rodeo, and then they're doing those weekly ones too, but that's not her family.
Yes.
And the Kramer family donated the land this museum sits on.
I see.
It was pasture land, and they donated it for the museum to be built.
Well, this is a beautiful building.
It's really
huge.
nice, really nice. It's bigger than people realize.
Yes.
See, those photographs are the ones we can't show because they're copyrighted, but it's Leo and Bertha Kramer's, you know, her outfits and her saddles and his beautiful saddle. All of the Kramer rodeo hands all wore the same outfit. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's really cool. All and right. We've got music to go with the cowboys.
Oh, wonderful. It's that old Western music.
Yeah.
Before they started calling things country, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the old stuff.
All right.
But do you want to do a
Sure.
little bit in the Pioneer Gallery? Because that's where you found wasn't it where you found your information or just in the files?
Well, just in talking,
Mm-hmm.
I might, there's a wonderful looking antique automobile here. It looks like a touring coupe.
It's a 1915 Ford.
Okay.
And it was driven to here.
I see.
Yeah. And the guy that drove it over still would love to start it up, but we don't think that would be a good idea inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would bring them in on the railroad and put them in the wool house down by the tracks. And then people would pick up their car from the wool house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that brings to mind what type of agriculture and commerce was beneficial
Ranching and the sheep industry was really, really big. At one time, this was the capital of sheep wool because they shipped more wool out of here than any other place for a while.
Wow.
Yeah. But most of the great big sheep ranches are not as big as they used to be. So they're still raising sheep, but it's not what it was.
Yes. Okay.
So wool isn't wanted as much.
Wonderful.
And we've got a
and
beautiful Native American collection, which kind of goes with this being the Crow Reservation, you know.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
And Chief Plenty Coup did Vision Quest in the Crazy Mountains, and
I see.
so yeah.
Okay.
And we've got a nice sheep display.
Oh.
Sheep and wool. It's not very big, but it's crammed full of stuff. Lots of pictures and.
There are so many photographs.
Oh yeah.
I think that people really ought to come and see this for themselves, so they can take a little closer look, which we don't have the time to do today.
A little bit of the mining industry, the platinum palladium mine.
That almost looks like an open stagecoach in the background.
That is one of the Yellowstone Park coaches.
Oh,
and then it was sold to Hunter's Hot Springs, which was at Springdale. They would pick up people off of the train and take them up to the hot springs. And then it was sold to the Donald Ranch here in Big Timber. And the Donalds are big supporters of the museum.
Okay.
So
I just recently watched a video, and I think one of them was featured on the Jay Leno YouTube channel. Some old cars by the White truck manufacturing company.
Oh, okay.
And they were set up as a touring bus.
Neat.
And it was a bunch of them that ran through Yellowstone National Park. And I think there's something like 6 that are still around.
Someone
So
said there's like 3 or 4 of these stagecoach things
Wonderful.
still in
Wonderful.
existence.
Wonderful.
We're lucky to have one.
Okay, there are so many treasures in here. I tell you what, this is really amazing. You folks watching this video, you're going to have to come and see this for yourself. There's just so much to take in. It's just wonderful and amazing at the same time. Looks like there's some interesting saddles over here of different types.
Yeah, we had a stable built, but we got mice in it, so all our saddles had to come back inside.
Oh my.
We didn't, and our Shap collection. It's the
Oh.
E.W. Stetson Shap collection.
Oh, wonderful. That is amazing.
And this was Hunter's Hot Springs. There was still a pool there in the 60s, but it's no longer in existence. It burned down in the 1930s, but the pool
I
was
see.
still there.
I see. Wonderful. Yeah, let's go back into the room where we were. We had kind of introduced the, I guess, the Pioneer Memorial Gallery is what we were talking about. Yes, I was so amazed at the amount of records that you have on my mother's family, the Hausermans.
Yeah, that is really, really nice. And they had to cut the 1895 as a cutoff date of the homesteaders because there were so many that they didn't have room for everybody. My great-grandparents came here in the early 1900s.
I see.
So they're not in this room,
Yeah.
but we're in the files.
Well,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, and then we use the display cases to just show different items and try to change them out every couple years.
Okay.
But the walls, stuff on the walls and the photos and different things on the walls stay. Those don't change.
Okay, and lots of information here about the various people who were here at that time. Wonderful. I suppose people who are interested in looking at the history of some of the people in the county could spend several hours in this room alone.
Oh, yeah. And these panels here are some of the businesses in town, the different businesses we've had.
Oh, wonderful. It looks like there's a very ornate pedal organ back here. Wonderful. Does it still play?
Yeah, it does, but we don't do it very often because the bellows dry out. And,
Understandably. Yes.
and we definitely don't want kids trying it.
Right. And they're kind of expensive to maintain as well. So.
Yeah, and it's just so gorgeous. They don't make things like that anymore.
No,
The
absolutely not.
beauty of the old furniture and,
Yes,
and stuff. Even
craftsmanship.
the architecture, it's not the same.
Yes.
So, and then our military wall is pretty extensive too because Montana was very patriotic, has always been very patriotic.
And you know, I find that is a rather common thing within rural communities. Rural people seem to have been extremely patriotic. In some cases, they may have taken advantage of having a secure job for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we think that we're not well off today, but we live like kings and
we
queens
are.
today.
We
as
don't work
compared
near as
to
hard
the-
as our parents and our grandparents did.
Exactly, life was tough.
Yeah. And a lot of people look through the lists to find their family names on these.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've got them clear back to the Civil War. Civil
Oh,
War
my.
veterans, Spanish-American War,
Wow.
and even the current Gulf situations.
I see.
We've got veterans listed here.
Okay. Well, wonderful.
Yeah. We wish we had more room, but we're going to have to grow a little bit before we can get everything out because we've got so much military.
And it takes money to be able to do that.
Oh, yeah. And we're self-supporting, so
Yes.
they're not state or
Yes.
city funded.
Yes.
We support
And
ourselves.
I should mention that people are welcome to come and see and peruse through the museum.
No fees.
And there is no set fee, but donations are extremely...
Donations are really, really appreciated.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what keeps us going.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so is that about the extent of the indoors?
Yes, we have
Okay.
a pole barn with a few things in it, big wagons and things, and a homestead cabin and a 1912 schoolhouse, and then a Norwegian stub oar. And
Now, what is a stub oar?
it's a storehouse,
Okay.
storage,
I see.
because this was it's still very heavily Norwegian
I
heritage
see.
here.
I see. And I believe there is a wagon that might have been used by sheep herders. That
Yes,
is outside as
we
well?
have 3 sheep wagons.
Okay.
2 are original sheep wagons, and 1 was made for a gentleman's grandkids for a camper, but it's on an old chassis.
Okay.
But it was special made for a camper.
All right.
But the 2 old ones are really nice.
Okay, but no chuck wagons, I presume.
No chuck wagons, no. Somebody was going to bring us a chuck wagon box, but we've never seen,
I see.
people forget or they get...
Right, right. Well, on the drive this way from Billings, I think I spotted a place alongside Interstate 94 or 90, I forget.
90.
On 90, that has a lot of old wagons over there. They probably go for outrageous prices these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only
We were lucky
real
that
problem in
ours were
finding.
donated, yeah.
Yes.
The 2 old ones were donated from local ranches.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So,
All right. Well, what makes Big Timber special in history?
in history, the
there
sheep
anything-
industry, wool, mining,
Okay.
yeah. Those were the big main draws. With the homesteading, with the Homestead Act.
Yes.
A lot of people came out here for that.
Okay. That's
But-
probably how my great-grandparents
More than
wound up
likely.
here. They
That's how
immigrated
mine
from
did.
Germany.
Yeah.
And my great-grandfather, his trade was being a butcher.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
the family history talks about how he had a special wagon that was pulled by mules, and he would take it around to various ranches, places where animals were being raised, and he would butcher on site.
Oh, cool.
And it had some sort of a boom pole type thing on the back of it, and then it was an enclosed wagon. So when he put meats in there,
They were safe.
yes, they could not. Well, they wouldn't be nearly as contaminated as if they were just sitting out in the open.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
They're probably wrapped in burlap as
Yeah.
well.
Well, yeah,
No telling.
yeah.
But I do know that on their place they had an ice house. They lived right on the Yellowstone River, and during the wintertime they would go out and chip big blocks of ice out of the surface.
Yeah,
and
a lot of
put in there.
the ranches and farms had ice houses
Yes.
or a
And-
spring house
Yes.
that they would use.
Yes, and understand that some people had smokehouses as well. So he would sometimes carry those meats over to other places where they could either smoke the meats or also treat them with salt, such as salt pork, so that they would keep longer.
Yeah.
Because we did not have refrigerators and freezers back in those
no,
days.
you used ice
Yes.
or just natural elements to keep things preserved.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, completely different style of life
I
that
know, like I
we
said,
know
a lot
of
harder
today.
than what we've got.
Right. Now, right near here, there is a natural formation called the Crazy Mountains. A lot of people might want to hear the story of how they got their name. What makes them crazy?
The weather. That's our take on it. They're not part of the Rocky Mountain chain.
Okay.
They're an isolated island of mountains that are much younger. I can never remember all of the years and dates, but there's several. Let's see. There 300 million years ago, the Rocky Mountains rose, and they're younger than the Rocky Mountain chain.
I see.
And then Chief Plentycoo was chief of the Crow Indians here, and he did vision quests in the Crazies. A lot of people have theories about it being a crazy woman with, you know, the Robert Redford movie of Jeremiah Johnson.
Oh, yes. Mhm.
But that's not true. The Indians named the mountains, I got to read the word right, Awahawa Peak, meaning Mad Mountain.
Oh, I
Crazy
see.
Peak.
Yes.
So the two highest peaks are Crazy Peak and Big Timber Peak.
All right. And I'll have to tell you a little bit of truth. I came here yesterday while you were engaged somewhere else, and I found this information right by the door frame.
Which one? This one?
How the Indians,
Oh, yes, John Frost.
yes,
He was one of our deputy sheriffs in town, and he was
Yes.
he had a land allotment at Grey Cliff.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I believe he's the one who was responsible for going around and actually asking a lot of the Indians how that name came about, since they are the ones who named the mountains. And they said it was largely due to the fact that the weather always seemed to be a little bit crazy
It changes.
right around the mountains.
Yeah,
Very
it changes.
unpredictable. You would think it's going to be a
Constantly.
wonderful day, and all of a sudden the weather would just change and without any warning.
And the wind is really crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
When I was going to school in Billings, one of the Crow that was in school there at the college, he said it was a story in the tribe, the Crow tribe, that they had put a curse on the mountains
Okay.
to drive the white man crazy.
Oh.
So-
Okay.
There's
Well, that's
lots of
interesting.
stories like that.
Very
But
good.
they're beautiful.
Now there was something else I picked up on yesterday, and it has something to do with an individual who is from Big Timber, trying to do something or proposing an idea which at the time seemed to be extremely dramatic.
State
You know what I'm
capital.
talking? The state
Yeah.
capital, yes.
Trying to make us the state capital.
Yes.
That was,
And I believe there's a
There's
painting or
right
something.
here is
Are we
the
allowed
painting.
to show that?
oh yes,
Okay.
yeah, and it was Leo Kramer. He introduced a bill to move the state capital of Montana to Big Timber.
Okay.
And
So he was a state legislator then? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And some people took it serious. Most of them thought it was just a story, you know. And it's kind of funny because Doris Fogler, who did the painting, she married a Broughton here, and they had a ranch up the East Boulder.
I see.
And we've got a lot of her paintings in here.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, she was really, really nice lady.
Are there still resident artists in the area that people might want to visit?
A lot of resident
really?
artists. Yes, we had, well, Jack and Jessica Zemsky Hines lived here. Jessica is still alive. Jack has passed. But they both have donated a lot of paintings to the museum. The ones above the archaeological display, and we've got them interspersed around. There's one in the Pioneer Gallery with the homesteaders.
Okay.
Yeah, they were all donated to the museum, and they supported us. We've got sculptors, you know. Dave Hodges has a gallery downtown, and he's a fabulous sculptor.
Wonderful.
Barb Van Cleve, photographer, and I mean, we've got lots of paintings, lots and lots of paintings. And,
Wonderful.
you know, photographs of things.
Yes.
We're trying to get them hung up on our big empty walls up above. Might not
Oh,
be,
yes.
Might
And
not
this
be able to-
room is just huge.
Yeah, you might not be able to see them as
Absolutely
good, but if you get
huge.
the bigger ones up, they should be okay.
Yeah.
We've got lots of paintings and pictures upstairs that we need to get out.
Wonderful.
Like I said, not quite enough space in here for everything we have.
Yes, and there's always things to curate and
People bring
figure
stuff
out how to
every
display.
week. You know, all year
Wonderful.
long, but in the summer we
Wonderful.
get stuff every week.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell us when the museum is open. Are you?
Okay, we open on Memorial Day with a big barbecue and festival type thing, have music and all that, and silent auction, and then we close on Labor Day.
I see.
So, but you call the museum number anytime and leave a message, and we open for special tours.
All right.
Before we open, the third grade class always comes out and has a big day here.
Oh, wonderful.
They do lessons in the schoolhouse, do the scavenger hunt, and then our president dresses in buckskins and all of that and does a Lewis and Clark thing in the teepee.
So it's sort of a living history time.
Yeah.
All
The kids
right.
love it, and they remember it.
Oh,
you know.
yes, definitely.
If they come later when they're older, they say, "Oh, I remember we came here in third grade."
Oh, yeah.
So the
Now,
teachers have
are
been
there-
doing that for years.
Oh, I see. Sorry to interrupt
That's
you.
okay.
Are there any online resources so that people can go and take
A
a look?
little bit. We've got a web page, and then we have found, we're on a lot of different pages like you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
People come we just got done with a TikTok video
I see.
just a couple weeks ago that's
Wonderful.
going to be for Visit Montana.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we've gotten people put that we're on Yelp and on Google, and
Yeah.
so that makes it kind of nice. We can get all this free
Yes, for sure.
advertisement.
Well, that's one reason I'm here is
Yeah.
to promote all the wonderful things
yeah.
I discover in
Yeah.
the American heartlands.
Yes, and we don't realize how much we have that people don't even know about. There's so many people in Big Timber that have never even been out here.
Oh, my.
It just boggles us. People drive by every day, and then they finally stop and they'll say, "We've been coming by here for years and I've always wanted to stop."
Well-
It's like, it's about time.
Well, they're working too hard.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're going somewhere. You've got a time frame to get
Right,
there, and
right.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much
welcome.
for being such a gracious host and
Mm-hmm.
pointing out some of the wonderful things here. Now, we did a very quick trip through here,
Yeah.
but I presume that
takes
when
a long
people
time.
come and want to see things for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
when I was here yesterday, there were several volunteers here who were certainly willing to show
Oh,
people
yes.
around and share some of the stories that are
Yeah,
here.
and we couldn't survive without the volunteers and different people that help us, so
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
keeps us open.
All right. Well, I will look forward to coming back perhaps next year, especially in June for that rodeo season.
Yeah.
One reason I came to Big Timber this week is because of the Wednesday rodeos.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's like 6 of them.
Oh, I know it.
All in a row.
Oh, I know
Which is really amazing.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of things going on. Big Timber is really good about promoting itself and trying to bring people in for different things.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I attended the Brewfest
Oh,
yesterday
that was
evening.
fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yes, I really wanted to record some material over there, but there was a band playing very loud
Very
music.
loud.
So it was very tough to be able to do any interviewing.
Yeah.
And plus, if they were playing copyrighted music, then I wouldn't have gotten away with putting it
I
on
never thought of
YouTube
that.
anyway.
Yeah, yeah, and the farmers market is every Friday in the summer, and that's
Oh,
really good.
oh, wonderful.
Yeah, you
I
can
guess
get
I
fresh-
missed that one.
Yeah, well, it was on the other side of the park,
Oh, I
over
see.
by the big pine trees on the other side of the swimming pool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was in. They were all at the same time, 4:30 to, and then the
Okay.
farmers market. I think they shut down about 7, but the food trucks stayed open because of the Brewfest.
Yes.
Because they usually leave earlier than that. But it was nice.
Okay. Well, wonderful. Thank you very much
You're
for sharing
welcome.
this wonderful museum.
Thank you.